Alright, I just got on site and I'm going to walk you guys through how I do a residential heat PM. Alright, we're up at the unit. This is a Rheem 80% furnace. It's already running in heat when I got here. So I'm going to show you some of the tools that I use first. Okay, so some of the main tools you're going to want: impact drill, voltmeter, manometer, and hoses. To get to the gas valve, you're going to need a service wrench or Allen key set. I brought both just in case. When you're done, you're going to need to get your delta or your temperature split, so you get psychrometers. Cleaning burners, get some sandpaper, and I like to use a couple brushes too, just to clear debris and everything off. While we're up here, we might as well put a little brush through the drain, just keep it clear because we're already here. And I got some vinegar that I'm going to pour down the drain as well. So after you verify power is off to the unit, you can start working. This is the furnace section. You have your gas valve right here, your burners are in there, you got your pressure switch here, your inducer motor. So everything we're going to be working on is right here. Typically I would pull the burners out and clean the burners, but this is a relatively new unit and the burners look very clean, and so I'm going to get in there with a brush and kind of brush them off, but I would feel better about leaving it alone and not pulling it out if it doesn't necessarily need to. Just take one of these brushes and kind of just brush these burners off real quick. I did pull the flame sensor out because it just looked a little bit corroded, and these things can get corroded and cause you to have no heat. So to avoid that, let's clean this off. To clean those off, you can use a dollar bill or whatever you got. You never want to use sandpaper on these because that could just ruin the flame sensor. Alright, we reinstalled our flame sensor, so the next step is going to be to check this pressure switch. We're just going to pull the tube off and make sure it's clear of debris. And now that we know it's clear, we're going to reattach it to our pressure switch. Now, sometimes on these furnaces you're going to have capacitors to check. There's no capacitor for this inducer, and there's no capacitor for the blower, so we don't have to worry about checking capacitors on this one. And now we can go ahead and clean our drain just real quick. We just want to make sure that it's all cleared to prevent any callbacks for drain issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a brush through there and run some vinegar down there just to clear it out, make sure it's all good. Alright, I just ran a brush through there and I'm going to pour some vinegar down the drain just to make sure that we're all good. We just reinstall the cap and we are done with the drain. It takes no more than 5 minutes to do, and it saves you callbacks, which we do not want. So we're good on that front. Now we're going to hook up our manometer to the gas valve and check our gas pressure when we fire up the unit. So a couple things when checking gas pressure. Your inlet is coming in here to this side. This is your outlet pressure because it's coming out of the gas valve into the furnace. So the inlet pressure port is going to be somewhere over here, right here. Your outlet pressure port is right there. When I check gas pressure, I check the outlet side, because if your outlet pressure is good, you know your inlet pressure is good. Just take a service wrench and loosen it. And then once it comes loose, we'll hook up the manometer. Once you've taken that loose, you can hook up your port here, and then your hose is going to go onto this end and then to the manometer. Alright, our manometer is hooked up to our gas valve, and remember to keep the power off while you do this, because you don't want it to fire off in heat and then you're just dealing with open gas right there. So just make sure the power's off when you're doing all of this. But now's the fun part where we get to fire it up and check operation. It's getting ready to fire up. Our inducer is now running. Next step is going to be the pressure switch closing to prove that there's a draft. Once that does, you're going to get the igniter to start glowing, and then your gas will flow, and then your burners will ignite, and then the last step is that the blower will kick on to push the air into the house. So we'll watch operation real quick. There's our flame. The flame looks good. And in a few seconds we'll hear the blower kick on. Our gas pressure is 3.51, which is perfect. And this is where you get to use your meter. We're going to just check our amp draw on our blower. It's at 1.16. Very nice. Alright, another step was just to tighten this gas valve back up. Make sure it's nice and tight. Don't strip it out, but just make sure it's nice and snug so that you avoid any leaks. That should be good. And then we can put the panel back on and go check our delta. All right, panels are back on the unit. The unit is got power back on. Always make sure you turn the power back onto the unit because you do not want any callbacks. And we're gonna clean up our tools and clean up the area around the unit so that it looks better than when we showed up. And we will be out of here. Alrighty, so I'm back in the van now. The unit had a 42-degree delta, which is really good. And I finished my paperwork, went and checked out with the customer, and they are leaving a positive Google review right now. So get out there, be efficient, get her done. Good luck.